All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to the stream. This is your host, DJ Just Jay, with Just Down TNT, the host of the Soto podcast, the AFC. We advocate for children first. We're getting ready to talk about a story, and I'm going to basically give you guys the rundown as far as like what happened based on what's been reported. Most of this is going to be a visual thing, so I have a lot of videos. There were a ton of videos. There was no shortage of people reporting on this, and I think, as I've told you guys before, that there's a culture of people that predominate America that are getting very, very tired of people that look like me that continue to harm them every day while they are being called the bad guys. And I'm telling you guys this as a cautionary tale that we have to do better as a people. Here's the story. This little boy's name is Mark Mason. He was only 8 years old. And the news recently uncovered new details about the suspect and the tragic death of that little 8-year-old boy in Lawrence County. Now, earlier this week, investigators said that Mark Edward Mason Jr., which is this boy right here on my screen, he died at the hands of a previously convicted murderer by the name of Keith Burley. What a name. What a person. This guy on my screen with that death stare in his face. Again, that is convicted murderer. I'm going to say that again. Convicted Keith Burley, age 43 years old. One question many people have been asking is this: why was Burley released from prison after only serving a minimum of a 20 to 40 year sentence? He pleaded guilty to third-degree murder for shooting and killing a man during a robbery in Newcastle back in 1999. Do you guys hear that? 1999. A document from the Pennsylvania Board of Probation and Parole sheds more light on Burley's release less than 4 months ago. Despite serving time behind bars for murder and other convictions, including aggravated assault and gun charges, on March the 1st of this year, the PA Board of Probation decided to free Burley for what was cited as several positive reasons. I think they did society an injustice on this one. Y'all look at that look in that dude's face. That guy is not right, man. Just they failed on this one. In his 8 years, little Marky is what they called little boy right here. That's little Marky. As his family calls him, he touched many lives. He dreamed of being a member of the SWAT team and loved running and fishing with his dad and his little brother. Call that out. His dad, his father, and his little brother. It's those little things his family says that they'll miss the most. And Mark Mason was just 8 years old when he was killed, allegedly at the hands of his mother's boyfriend following an argument. Wow. Does that not sound familiar, guys? How many times have I talked about these mothers and these women that keep letting these jailbirds, these no good dudes, into their houses and putting them around their children? And I'm going to point something out before you hear it in the video. The biological father of that little boy is going to speak out and say something that I've been saying this entire time. It's wrong of these mothers, and it's outright criminal, to be honest with you. To be real honest with you, the mother of this kid, I'm going to give her name. Her name is Maram Wajib Sada. And it's spelled M-A-R-A-M. That's the first name, middle name W-A-J-E-B, last name S-A-A-D-A, Sada. Maram Sada out of Newcastle is the biological mother's name. Okay, so just so you guys know exactly who we're dealing with here. This was her boyfriend. She had no standards. This dude just got out of prison, and you have to think about the fact of what he was in prison for. He was in prison for murder. When he got out, what did he do? He killed an 8-year-old boy. over an argument with the mom. That's criminal, man. Known by his friends and family as Marky, the young boy had been in the car with his mom and brother and 43-year-old Keith Burley. Police say that Burley assaulted the boy's mother in the car. When she got out at the Newcastle Fire Department for help, he drove away with the two boys. Oh, God. Like, I didn't even read that before. Oh, God. Guys, I'm going to read this again. Police say that Burley assaulted the boy's mother in the car while she had her sons in the car. When she got out at the Newcastle Fire Department for help, he drove the car away with the boys in the car. Did y'all hear what I just said? The mother hopped out of the car and left the boys in the car, and he drove off with her children. Somebody please show me the logic in that. Somebody please tell me where the love is for her children in that situation. Please. I could just be missing it. Is somebody going to make an excuse for that? Somebody going to tell me, well, she had to go get help? That's part of what I'm talking about when it comes to needing fathers in these children's lives. Because again, these boyfriends do not value these children. It's not their flesh and blood. It's not theirs biologically. They do not give a crap about these children. And the mother, Jesus Christ. I've told you guys plenty of times about where these mothers will not risk their lives for their children. They put these children in these situations, and then they'll just leave the children in the situation to fend for themselves when these children cannot speak for themselves and these children cannot defend themselves. Man, I'm sorry. That alone makes her a horrible mother. That proves that she makes horrible choices, and it proves the fact that I believe that she should be charged in collusion, knowing that this man was a convicted criminal, and you put this convicted criminal around your children. To me, that should be a jailable, prisonable offense. Let's move on. A short time later, Burley allegedly stabbed 8-year-old Marky to death. He was my life. I keep getting choked up every time I talk about this, which is Marky's father, Mark Mason Sr. That's the father. Burley had just been released from prison in March, April, May, June, July, only 4 months ago. That guy. Y'all see that photo? That guy. 4 months ago. Just got out of jail, just got out of prison in March after serving a 20-year sentence for murder. The biological father said, I warned her, I said, if you want to date him, that's fine, but just keep him away from my kids, Mason said. Does that not sound like what I've been telling you guys? I have no problem if women want to date thugs, but they need to date thugs when they don't have children. If you have children, then you can't put your children in these situations. It's selfish, or you need to not have kids. You got to be thinking about that stuff way before this. That's part of not being selfish, and that's part of being a responsible mother. This mother was irresponsible, and I think that she needs to be on trial for this also. Now, let's move on. Marky's brother, Matthew, was there at the time. Wow. At the time of this violent attack, but made it out of the home safely. He told me that Marky told him to run while he was fighting Keith. Man. The little boy tried to fight to save his mom. And Matthew threw a chair at him and ran, Mason said. If he wouldn't have ran, I believe Keith would have killed both of my boys. That's coming from the biological father. Matthew then ran for help. A 7-year-old kid at 11 p.m. was so brave, Mason said. You know he's a hero. Both of my boys are heroes. Now, according to the parole board's official notice, They had interviewed Burley and reviewed his file. They cited several reasons for his release, and I want you guys to hear this, which was Burley's positive institutional behavior. But that's at odds with the 2002 incident that happened inside the prison. Check this out. According to court documents, Burley was then charged with aggravated harassment and assault by a prisoner. That don't sound like good behavior to me. The parole board also took a positive recommendation by the State Department of Corrections and the trial judge into consideration. They also wrote he'd accepted responsibility for the offenses he committed and said that he was sorry for them. Page 2 of the document gave Burley a list of things that he could and could not do while on parole. And it's funny how they'll release somebody like this, but back in Oklahoma, they're going to leave that man, Julius Jones, shout out to Julius Jones, hashtag free JJ. They'll leave somebody like that in jail when evidence actually points to the fact that he didn't do what he was accused of doing, and he's on death row right now. But they won't pardon him. They won't let him out. They won't give him a second chance at life. But you'll give this dude, Keith Burley, 43 years old, this guy, they'll give him a chance. Let's move on. It included never having alcohol or drugs, taking regular drug tests, and required to keep to him a regular job. It's also said Burley could not operate a vehicle without a valid Pennsylvania driver's license and proof of insurance or registration. Since this is now the second time Burley has been charged with homicide and given the young age of the victim, Lawrence County District Attorney Josh Lamacusa announced that he would seek the death penalty in this case. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage while you guys are watching. Please click the thumbs up. It'll share our stream and let others know that we're live. I know you guys have not clicked the thumbs up, so I'm asking you guys and begging you guys practically to just please click the thumbs up if you would. Help your boy out. Thank you. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Let me get this video up. It just went away. Let me get this video up real quick. Here we go. Now, again, guys, y'all kick back and relax. Click that thumbs up because I'm going to just play these videos in succession so you can see them. It's a lot of videos.
Yeah, we're here on High Street where we can tell you that it was around 11 o'clock last night when the altercation took place just inside that back door in the area of the kitchen. Now, as it was happening, there were other kids in the house, and one of them came out the front door and ran to a neighbor for help. There is a sense of outrage and disbelief tonight here on High Street.
It tears you up. I can't believe it. I mean, it's such a shock. How could anybody stab a little kid?
Police say the incident started as a rolling domestic dispute in this car with two little boys in the back seat.
There's an argument. Apparently it was over something to do with the cell phone. It got physical. It actually went from words to physical abuse.
That's when 36-year-old Maram Sada pulled her car into the Newcastle Fire Department parking lot, honking her horn for help, and firefighters immediately came out.
And they found a female, and it looked like she had been pretty bruised up. She had some facial injuries, some bruises.
Meanwhile, police say this man, 43-year-old Keith Burley, got behind the wheel of the car.
He got back inside of that vehicle with the children, and she was left there in Newcastle.
At her home on High Street, the report indicates Burley took the kids into the kitchen of the home. Two other kids upstairs came down to see what was happening. They told police Burley had 8-year-old Mark Edward Manson around the neck.
He committed the murder with a knife. Kids kind of caught a glimpse of it, and they did the best they could to go and get help.
One of the kids ran to a neighbor, distraught and blurting out,
"He's stabbing him, he's stabbing him."
The kids would later tell police that Burley was saying, "Die, die," as he stabbed the child. When Union Township police arrived, they found Mason dead of multiple stab wounds on the kitchen floor. Burley was gone, but he was spotted early this morning and taken into custody in Youngstown. Now, veteran police officers who were inside this home today say it was a very difficult scene to process and one that's hard to take, especially when there is a child involved in a situation like this. We can tell you that the other 3 children who were inside the home at the time were not injured. The girlfriend/mother was taken to Jameson Hospital for treatment. And coming up new at 6, I had a chance to talk to one of Burley's cousins about his cousin and what happened here last night. You'll want to hear what he had to say. Live in Newcastle.
This is the biological father. This is Mark Mason Sr. This is the biological father. I want y'all to hear what he has to say. I'm going to just let it play out.
Oh, he will be brought to justice. He said it's going straight to trial.
The family of the 8-year-old stabbing victim in Lawrence County speaking out today. 8-year-old Mark Mason was killed Monday night. The DA swiftly filed a homicide charge.
But the little boy's father tells Megan Schiller this could have been prevented.
The little boy's father sat down with the district attorney to talk about what happened to his son and what to expect as his son's suspected killer returns to Lawrence County.
My son's a victim, yes, but my son's a hero. And I want my son remembered as a hero, not a victim.
Mark Mason wants his 8-year-old to be remembered for who he was and not for what happened to him.
I want everybody to know that my son fought. My son fought him.
Guys, at this point, I'm going to tell you, the father is having a hard time keeping himself composed. At some point, he will have to think about getting custody away from the mother, because I feel like the mother put these kids in this situation and then abandoned them. The mother abandoned ship while these boys were in the car so this man can drive off and go kill her kids. That's a horrible mother, and he should be automatically granted custody of the other kid just because of that alone. But I'm sure that's probably the last of his worries at this moment.
I want everybody to know that my son fought. My son fought him. He just wasn't strong enough. How can an 8-year-old fight a 43-year-old man with a knife?
Mason reached out to KDKA to tell Marky's story and to talk about the heroic actions of his younger son, 7-year-old Matthew. He also says he wants the community to see his young son.
But you tried, and you got away, and you threw a chair at him. I'm so proud of you.
And to acknowledge how he did everything to help his older brother.
Look at that little boy, man. What was this little boy supposed to do? Man, look at that little boy. That's sad, man. Beautiful little boy.
And to acknowledge how he did everything to help his older brother during the attack.
My kids did everything I taught them to do. I told them if anything like that ever happened, Marky, you protect your mom and you protect your brother.
I'm going to play that again because I just got upset.
Marky, you protect your mom and you protect your brother. Marky, you protect your mom and you protect your brother. Marky, you protect your mom and you protect your brother.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that statement, guys? Y'all should know this. I'm going to play it again.
Marky, you protect your mom and you protect your brother.
I am trying my best not to get flaggied on this channel tonight, but I'm going to tell you guys this. I understand what he's saying. I understand the message that he's trying to encourage in his boys, but I'm going to tell you guys this, to the mothers, to the people that are listening to the sound of my voice. That is wrong. It doesn't matter whether the boys instinctively know to protect your mom. It is the parent's responsibility to protect the children. If the mom is the only one there, it is her responsibility not to date a thug and bring a jailbird into her house with her boys, number one, or we wouldn't have never got here. Number two, it is the mother's responsibility to give her life to protect her children. A mother needs to protect her children at all costs. Sorry, Mark Mason Sr., my guy, father, I feel you. That is the wrong message. Where's the mothers that got some gumption out there? Are there any mothers out there that believe in protecting their children? Who would sit there and have children and then expect for those children to be pawns on the board to be able to protect the queen? That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. If you're treating your children like pawns and the pawns are on the board to be able to protect the queen, then you're proving that you do not care about your children. That's to the mother. That is a message to the mother. The father is giving his children the wrong message. You don't protect your mama. It's not your job to protect your mom. It's never your job to protect your mama. If your mother makes her bed, then damn it, you left her lay in it. I'm going to say that again, because I know the family ain't going to like me saying this, but this is a real message that we need to be the AFC. We need to advocate for these children first. I am absolutely tired of these children being taken advantage of to be used for the benefits that we can collect from them. Hashtag babies for benefits. And we continue to keep putting these children in the line of fire. Who does that? What kind of parent puts their children on the front line? When a house is on fire, what kind of parent leaves their children in a house fire and runs out of the house? I don't understand that. When your children are in an ocean drowning or in a lake drowning, what kind of parent just sits there and looks and hopes that somebody runs out there to go save their kids? Excuse me, am I wrong for what I'm saying? But we are the AFC. We do think a little bit different here. At the AFC, we advocate for what? Guys, say it in the chat. We advocate for children first, not second, not third, not fourth, not when mama decides to get out the car and leave the kids in the car by themselves. Nope, wrong. Wrong move. When crap hits the fan, you don't expect for your children to come in and try to clean and fix everything up. Nope, it's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. The family and the parents are the ones that are supposed to be responsible. Any parent that loves their children, and I didn't mean to pause the videos, I'm going to let them play, but any parent that is not willing to put their lives on the line for their children, I believe, are not fit to be parents.
And Matthew, you run and get help. And don't you stop running until you find somebody.
And state police say that's exactly what Matthew did. He sprinted out of this house on High Street and didn't stop running until he found an adult. What did you say to the people when you found people to help you? What did you say to them?
I said that my brother got hurt.
My brother got hurt.
Guys, I want y'all to look at this little boy. He's 7 years old. And I want y'all to take a look at this beautiful little young boy. He's a baby to me. I still call my daughter. She's about to be 12. She's still my baby. Who is this little boy supposed to fight? How is this little boy supposed to fight and defend his mom? That little boy is tiny. He's small and he's frail. And you cannot tell me that you have trained your boys to fight for their mother. Their mother is a horrible person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All this little boy is supposed to do at this point is enjoy life, eat, sleep, take care of himself, clean himself up, go to school, get good grades, have fun with your friends. That should be the only thing he should be worried about. Absolutely ridiculous. This mother should be just as liable and be arrested for putting her children in danger. She knew that this man had only been out of prison a matter of months, just a few months, only 4 months up until this incident happened. Knowing what he was arrested in jail and in prison for, you cannot justify putting your children around a man like that. For what? Be in a relationship with a man like that. For what? If you do not have, and I repeat, if you do not have children, then by all means, if you want to go walk in that ledge of the cliff, then go do it by yourself. But it is not fair to the children for you to date someone that is going to put their lives in danger. We have to hold these women responsible, because if we don't, then what's going to happen is we're going to continue to keep losing children, and we're going to continue to keep making excuses for these mothers. And if you keep talking about how smart these mothers are, how responsible and strong these mothers are, and they're doing all this and that, you want to praise them and put them on pedestals, then the way that works is the reason why men have always built everything in society and women have had to support it, and women are not the ones that are on top. The reason for that is because heavy is the crown that is worn on the king's head, because it comes with a lot of responsibility. You have to take the good with the bad. You have to take the praise as well as the accountability. Oh, did y'all hear me say that? If you're going to take the praise, you have to be willing to accept the accountability that goes along with that. And that's one thing that I have noticed that there are not a lot of women that are able to do. When it comes to accepting the consequences of something, oh, they want to back off and they want to have a million excuses. And, well, it's because of this and it's because of that. And also because of this, well, you didn't think about this. And you can look on social media and see all of the people that are constantly, well, you know, well, what about, well, what about, well, what? I don't care. We don't do that with men. And if women want to be considered to be equal, then we cannot do that with women, especially when they are the ones that are the head of the household, when they're the ones making the life and death choices for these children. We have to do what's best for the children and stop doing just what's best for women. That's got to stop. Children have to come first. That's why we're the AFC. That's why we wear this logo. That is why we type it in the chat, hashtag AFC, because we advocate for children first. The children have to come first. And for this mother to hop out of the car and leave her children in the car, there is zero excuses for that. Number one, because you should never have left your children. You should have defended your children, and you should have never have brought your children around a man that was in prison for murder and just got out of jail. No excuse for it. To the biological father, I feel your pain, bro, but I'm going to tell you something. Bad lesson to teach your kids. Bad lesson, horrible lesson. It's not your kid's responsibility to protect that woman. She grown, bruh. She grown. Let her defend herself. Clearly, y'all had some type of issues, and you probably had some type of issue with the choices that she made, which is why y'all are not together. So I want you to think about that and stop putting your kids in danger by telling them and teaching them stupid lessons like that to say that you need to protect your mom. Your mom is grown. She didn't live life already. As far as I'm concerned, I would trade her life for that little boy's life. Tell me if you disagree with that. That's hard love, that's accountability, that's responsibility, and that is a message that needs to be preached for these children, because they cannot speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. They need us for every single thing that they get, as well as the protection that we should provide for them. We as parents should have a hedge of protection around these children. If we do not do that, then we should not be parents, and we should not continue to keep procreating recklessly. This dude right here should have never been out of prison. The parole board of Ohio failed. Horrible job. And it cost the kid his life. We'll never know what Mark Mason, age 8 years old, could have grown up to have been. He wanted to be a part of the SWAT, part of the police. It's sad that he will never get that opportunity. Maybe his baby brother will follow in his footsteps, and maybe he'll want to be a SWAT and be something positive and make a difference. But I'm sorry, but Ohio has failed yet again. Another cautionary tale for these mothers. Every time that I see it, I'm going to call you out. I don't care about your feelings, because you should be more caring about your children rather than what we say about you. That's my opinion. This is your boy, DJ Just Jay. I'm signing out. Per hands up in the chat. R.I.P. to that little boy, Mark Mason Jr. He was only 8 years old, and he didn't deserve what happened to him. Okay? Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next stream on the Soto Podcast. The AFC means we advocate for children first, man. Peace.